Dana White used to be the face of the UFC. Passionate, loud, always hyping up the next fight. But lately, it looks like Dana White couldn't care less. He's skipping press conferences, promoting slap fights, even pushing boxing cards that directly compete with his own UFC events. So today, we're looking at how Dana White, the man who built the UFC, has slowly stopped caring about the UFC.
Segment 1, The Press Conference Ghost.
Remember when Dana White would never miss a press conference? He'd be front and center, talking trash about fighters, defending terrible judging decisions, and hyping up future cards. Now, he just skips them. Or when he does show up, he looks like he's counting down the minutes until he can go gamble. Half the time, he announces huge fights like he's reading off a grocery list.
Islam Makhachev. Makhachev was #1 ranked pound-for-pound fighter in the world in 23, 24, and 25. He cleaned out that division, and he has decided to take his 15-fight win streak and move up to attempt to become one of a few fighters in UFC history to win belts in 2 different divisions.
It's hard to hype up a main event when the promoter himself looks like he's already bored of it.
Segment 2, The Apex Sloppy Era.
Another sign Dana doesn't care. UFC cards are weaker than ever. Gone are the days of stacked pay-per-views. Now we get endless Apex fight nights with mismatched fights and underwhelming main events. UFC 318 was literally headlined by Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier, a fight that had no impact on the rankings. And on the title side, instead of fights that made sense like Volkanovski versus Evloev or Merab versus Yan, we got Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez and Merab versus O'Malley too. It's matchmaking that feels like a kid mashing random buttons in a UFC video game.
Segment 3, Power Slap Obsession.
And then there's Power Slap, Dana's pet project.
Everything's good, man. Our video game, I don't know if I told you guys this already, but the video game did 350 million downloads. And
instead of focusing on building great UFC cards, he's pouring his energy into a literal slap fighting league. A sport where the only strategy is try not to die from brain damage. It's literally just a bunch of fat guys hitting each other. He shoves Power Slap into every UFC broadcast like it's his child. Spoiler, nobody cares. The ratings are trash, fighters make pennies, and medical professionals are begging for it to be banned. But Dana loves it, because it's new, it's edgy, and he feels like he's building something again. It's like the UFC is his wife, and Power Slap is a side chick he's obsessed with.
Segment 4, Boxing over UFC.
And just when you thought Dana couldn't care less, he promotes a boxing match. Canelo vs. Crawford, on the same day as UFC Noche. That's right, the president of the UFC promoted direct competition against his own company's product. Imagine Adam Silver hyping up the NFL Super Bowl on the same day as the NBA Finals. It's insane. But Dana did it, because at this point, he's more interested in building something new than making the UFC better.
Segment 5, Gambling and Distractions.
Of course, Dana's other obsession is gambling. This guy spends more time in Vegas casinos than in UFC matchmaking meetings. And hey, nothing wrong with blowing off steam, unless you're running the biggest MMA company in the world. Then maybe, just maybe, your time would be better spent making sure fight cards don't look like regional shows.
Segment 6, Letting Jon Jones hold up the division.
Then there's Jon Jones. Dana let Jones come back, immediately win the heavyweight belt, and then sit on it for years. Meanwhile, Tom Aspinall, a legit young star in his prime, was stuck holding an interim belt and fighting guys who didn't move the division forward. Jones is out injured, maybe he never fights again. Dana was fine with it. He was letting one guy hold the title hostage while an entire division rots. That's not a promoter who cares, that's a promoter on autopilot.
Segment 7, The Shady Business.
And of course, you can't talk about Dana without mentioning the shady business. Fighter pay stuck at 20% revenue, antitrust lawsuits, sponsorship money funneled away. But somehow, Dana always finds himself to promote Power Slap, boxers, or himself, instead of fixing the UFC's actual problems. It's almost like being the face of lawsuits, shady contracts, and backroom deals is more exciting to him than running a real fight promotion.
Segment 8, Why Dana's Checked Out.
So why is Dana checked out? Simple. The UFC is already established. It prints money. ESPN deal. Paramount deal. Sold out arenas. Conor McGregor memes. It's not going anywhere. Dana doesn't get that adrenaline rush from building the UFC anymore. That's why he's so obsessed with Power Slap and boxing. Those give him the thrill he used to get from building the UFC. And the result? A promoter who looks like he cares more about side hustles and gambling than putting on the best MMA fights possible.
Conclusion.
Dana White will always be remembered as the man who helped make MMA mainstream. But right now, he looks like a man who stopped caring about the UFC. Press conferences skipped, Power Slap obsession, boxing distractions, weak cards, fighters held hostage. It's a pattern. The UFC might be thriving financially, but the passion is gone. Dana's not fighting for MMA anymore. He's fighting for the next rush. So what do you think? Has Dana White checked out for good, or is this just a phase? Let me know in the comments.
This kid's a nut job. He is a Fruit Loop. Here's my one problem, and here's why I'm talking to you right now. He wants me to kick him off the show. Same Survivor and vote him off. Beat him off.